Where can you get money for a down payment to purchase a home? This is Ron Wysakarski for the Black Hole of Real Estate, and there are a number of ways to get the money you need for a down payment on a home. And before we talk about those ways, if you're going to be financing, there are a couple of ways to going with no down payment. So the one we're most familiar with would be the VA loan. So if you're a veteran and you've got a DD 214 and your eligibility certificate, then you could qualify for a no down payment home loan, and the seller could actually help you with the closing costs up to 4% of the purchase price. So that is a way where you can get in with almost like no money down for the down payment or the closing costs. Now, there's also a USDA loan, sometimes they call it a rural housing loan, that also has a feature of no down payment. Now, it's in a specific area. You can go to their website and then you can type in the address to see if that property qualifies. There's also some qualifying income for the family household, but that could mean a zero down payment as well. And the seller can help out with closing costs, and also they can finance a little bit within that, but you have to qualify. There are actually limits to the income as far as how much you have to make and a number you can't go over. So go to USDA.org and it can help you out with that. So those are the two documented ways for no down payment. Now, FHA, super popular. It's been around for over 100 years, I think, anyways, or at least very close to 100 years. And it's a 3.5% down payment. And the seller can help with closing costs. Typical amount is 3%, but it can go higher. You should definitely consult with a lender on this particular program. Sometimes people will call it a first-time homebuyer program because a lot of people on their first home purchase, they use it because the down payment is 3.5%. Now, I'd also look at conventional loans with 5% down, and there are a couple of programs with higher credit scores where certain lenders will have a 3% down conventional loan. So there's a lot of things you can look at from the lending side. Now, where's the down payment going to come from? Well, if you don't need a down payment, you don't need a down payment. But for most people, we're going to need one. And the ways that we can help you are to, number one, save some money. Can you put aside some money each paycheck to build up that fund, and not borrow against it, or, well, it was in my savings, but I moved it over to the checking, so it's kind of there, but it's not really there. Not the switch-o, change-o, hide the money thing, but, I moved it from the right pocket, it ended up in the left, and oops, it was all gone. So not that. But if you're saving for a $10,000 down payment, if that's where you're going to be, 3.5% of like 300, then there's a lot of ways to get there, but it's $200 a week. So in a year, you've got to save $200 per week or $800 a month. That's a lot coming out of most families' paychecks. So it's a way to do it. And it's a piece of puzzle. It might take you a year or two to save up 10 grand and not touch it in life's little emergencies. So be prepared for that. Now, where can you get big chunks of money? It's tax time. How about a tax refund? Maybe you're qualifying in such a way that the tax refund can be used for the down payment. And you have to take that check and probably get a copy of it, copy of your tax return, which the mortgage people are going to ask for anyways, and probably seeing it go into your bank account either by direct deposit or maybe they actually mailed you a check. So save that. And if you get a $4,000 or $5,000 refund check, that could absolutely get you, half the way there to your down payment that you're going to need. Now, you can also get a gift from a direct family member. So I would imagine like parents, brother, sister, uncle's kind of straining it a little bit. It can't be like your friend. It can't be like cash advancing from a credit card or something like that, or a payday loan, or any of those other loans. You can't borrow to borrow. But a direct family member can loan you that money. Now, not loan, gift. It's got to be a gift. And they'll ask to see it like in that person's account with their bank statement. They're going to write you a check, and then you're going to put it in your bank, document all of that, and then you're going to not pay back. So they have to be good with that part because it's a gift. It's called a gift letter. You've got to document it. So it's not, I'm going to give you the money and pay it back. Wink, wink, right? No, this is how you do it. The lender's going to ask you these questions. So tax refund can work. A gift letter from a family member can work. Savings can work. There's another way. If you've started a 401k, you can borrow against it under a lot of circumstances, and you need to talk about the person who's the plan administrator for your 401k to find out what the terms are to borrow against your 401k. And if you have an IRA as well, perhaps it's the same thing. You may only be able to borrow from one or the other, not necessarily both. Rather to make it complicated, call them, find out, I've got some money in a 401k, I'd like to buy a house. What does that look like? If you do a one-time withdrawal, it immediately becomes taxable because when you put it in there, you didn't pay the tax on it. It was tax deferred going into a 401k. So in this case, you can pay the taxes. So you can take a loan against it and you pay yourself back over time. You'll have less money earning interest in your 401k, but you're going to earn interest because you're going to pay yourself plus interest on the way back. So it's a way to get yourself into a house. And if you believe the house is going to go up in value and maybe cost less than the rent that you're currently paying, it could be a good financial move for you as well. So there you have it. Save some money. Get a tax refund. Get a gift from a family member. Look at your 401k. Maybe it's an old one from an old job that you just, forgot all about, that you're not contributing to. That could also help you. Now, I'm sure there's other ways that you can think of, but right now, that's several ways that you can use to get the down payment to buy a house, especially now that rates are at 5.99%. This is going to get really interesting. If you got questions, drop us a line. Definitely hit the subscribe button. This is Ron Wojciechowski for the Black Hole of Real Estate.